Hello, may I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, audible. Yes, yes.
Okay, let's start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to all of you today's webinar on structured literature searching for relevant literature. I am Shweta Phadtare, your convener for today's session. The purpose of this session systematically identify and organize high quality relevant research evidence to support informed decision making academic work. I am confident that this session will leave all us enriched with valuable insights. It my great pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Ms. Vasumati Sri Ganesh ma'am. Ms. Vasumati ma'am is the founder of QMed Knowledge Foundation, an organization working to improve the basics of medical research in India. She is a trained worked in medical library during the 1990s. She started QMed to teach health sciences professionals and important skills like searching for information online and properly citing and referencing their work. Under her leadership, QMed has done amazing work. The organization has conducted over 217 workshops and given more than 570 lectures across India, helping many in the medical field improve their research. In November 2024, she conducted a special workshop for 14 scientists from ICMR, which had a big impact. QMed also provides online courses that people can take at their own space, making it easier for professionals to learn. Ma'am has also guided many authors writing systematic reviews by helping them find the right research article and organize their reference. Her work has been widely recognized. She has been invited as a speaker and trainer by top organizations like the Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, Maharashtra Medical Council, FEMR, MECOR, and the Union. In 2013, she won an international award at the Medical Library Association Conference in the USA. More recently, in 2023, QMed received an education grant from Pfizer to run workshops in 10 AIMS institutions. And in 2024, she was honored with the Dr. S.R. Ranganathan Lifetime Achievements Award from LIS Academic Bangalore. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. Without taking any more time, I kindly request ma'am to start session and take up through the topic of structured literature searching for relevant literature.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta, and thank you, Dr. Arvind Deshmukh, for inviting me to do this session. And without any waste of time, I'll just get started. Can you just confirm that you're seeing the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, visible.
Yes. Okay, great. So thank you once again, and I'm getting started on the session on structured literature searching. The foundation that I started in 2007 and still running is QMed Knowledge Foundation. It's a not-for-profit trust registered with the Charity Commissioner Mumbai. And I'll actually skip this since Dr. Ashweta just introduced me. I'd just like to take a moment to share this award details, which happened in October this year. And it was something that really gave me a lot of encouragement to continue the very hard work that we are doing as a small team with a very big objective. Yes, with that, I go to literature search, the resources first. When we need literature or updates, our levels of needs could be from very generic to very specific. So I've put three questions here. It's very obvious that the first is very generic, which is a foundational learning need. We just need to know, and this is all at different times in our lives, of course, from studentship onwards. The second is what are adverse effects of antimalarial drugs. That's an additional learning need. We learned what are antimalarials, we need to learn something more. Then there are times we have a very, very super specific question. If one is a doctor treating patients, he or she needs it to make a decision. Still higher level, policy makers, they need to know which one to recommend. So this is for action need, patient care or policy making. And in policy making, it's not just a doctor, it's a whole lot of people who are involved in doing something called a systematic review and developing a guideline for it. For all these levels, we need different kinds of resources and searching skills. So at the very basic level, we have just a basic learning need, and I've listed some resources here, which everybody knows about. So there's obviously nothing more to talk about it because such resources we've used even starting from high school into early college and so on. The second, where we are continuously learning. Most of the time we rely on journals, but today there's an increasing availability of what is called gray literature, which means you get research information from thesis, conference proceedings, clinical trial registries, preprints, and so many other resources. Most of it is available on the net in some way or the other. Of course, it's a gray area, gray literature, but we are getting more and more of all this. Right at the top, the action and decision-making need. There we get evidence from systematic reviews. From systematic reviews for practice of a decision-making, etc., the resources are guidelines and summaries. A single website could have any one of these, any two of these, any three, or a combination of many of these. So it's important to know that when you go to a website, we need to identify what kind of resource it is, whether that is the most suitable for our current information need, and if it's multi-source, then which area of the website do we need to go to? So this is something which we need to go on understanding each resource and then moving ahead. Types 2 and 3, I'll just go back to that slide. The research-based resources and results of research, they have a hierarchy, and it's usually depicted with what is called the evidence pyramid. This you can broadly divide into 3 categories. Right at the bottom is the lowest level of evidence, where it's all actually the triggering of research. The next level is where research happens on patients, starting with case reports, slightly higher is case series, and so on. The highest level is randomized controlled double-blind studies. These are the kinds that give us some solid evidence because it's done on a large number of patients. But the best evidence comes right at the top. This is secondary research done on large studies, and the results are pooled, analyzed in a very systematic manner. And this is where we get evidence from systematic reviews, and from that, people create guidelines and summaries. Right. So that's a brief overview on information resources, whether they are in print, whether they are electronic, both formats, and so on. And from there, we'll move on to searching. Searching, each kind of resource can have different kinds of learning skills and knowledge. But when we say searching, we are most often talking about large databases like PubMed or other abstracting databases. The rest of them are by and large easier. Let's take one very popular resource today, which is PubMed, and learn some of the most important things from that. And from that, we can translate our queries for other databases as well. Not that it is easy and instant, but if we get the right theories and anatomy of it, as I call it, we learn how to apply to other databases. When we see the help files in other databases, it's easier to understand. So let's look at PubMed. We need to know whichever resource we are searching. I always give an example of if you're searching, if you want the phone number of a person in one city, there's no point in searching the phone book or telephone directory of another city. So that way we need to know our resource, the coverage, what it covers, what it doesn't. So let us take PubMed as an example. I'll ask a question, what exactly is PubMed, or which of these depicts PubMed best? There's one answer from these which, sorry, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, which of these depicts PubMed best? In the chat, you could give me the serial number. I'd like a little interactivity here. Number 5, okay. Can I have some more answers? And there's no negative marking, nothing. So please participate. Whatever you think describes PubMed best. Number 6, 5. I'll wait for 1 or 2 more people. 6 again. 1 more. 6 maybe. Okay. So this is where our literature searching goes for a toss when we don't know exactly what a resource is. The answer in this case is it's an index. It is not a search engine, but it has a search engine to search the contents in PubMed. It does not go search the whole World Wide Web like Google or Bing does. It's not a collection of journal articles, which some people have said, because there is no single full text inside PubMed. To reach the full text, you click the title, then you'll have the either the journal website icon or PubMed Central icon. And from there, we go to the other website and see the full article. And it's not a mix of 2 or more of the above. So what we need to understand is it is an index. What do we mean by an index? It is an index to articles published in around 5,000 journals. Now, in a textbook or any book, the index is right at the end. We check out a word and it tells you in which page number in the book it is, maybe 1 or more page numbers. Now, PubMed is an index to articles in more than 5,000 journals. So it can't just give you a page number. And that's why it gives you, if you have searched the word anti-malarials or any such thing, it tells you in how many different articles the word is there. It will give you the title, author, whole lot of things so that you can reach the journal. Most importantly, this index does not contain full text articles, as I just said. It contains what are called bibliographic details and abstract if available. So typically, if I search something like Toxoplasma gondii, then I get the title, journal details, and if I click the title, there may be an abstract, there may not be, plus a link to the full text. So this is what exactly PubMed is all about. Right. So in this case, it is marked free. But as I said, the free article is in the journal website or in PubMed Central. Right. Based on this much, we understood what PubMed is. Let's go on to the principles of searching PubMed, and most of them are applicable in other databases as well. The first principle is if we do a word or keyword search, we are always told pick out the most important words and search those. The results will contain our term or terms somewhere in the result records. As far as PubMed goes, it will contain it in the bibliographic details and abstract. The search engine of PubMed does not go and search the full text of the journal article because that is in some other website. Importantly, the result may or may not be about our search term. For example, if I searched amoebiasis, I'll get articles about amoebiasis, but I'll also get some like these. Treatment of parasitic infections excluding amoebiasis. This is not about amoebiasis. We need to be ready to get such irrelevant answers as well. The search engine or the computer is programmed to just look for the word in the title, in the abstract, that kind of areas. And if the word is there, it gets it out to us. That's the speed of a computing tool. Second principle is if you tag your search term, which we learn about, we tag it with what is called a descriptive tag. The results will contain our term in the description area. This is the most important part of PubMed and similar indexed databases. Let's look at this. I did a search. I got this as one of my results. The title says cause or consequence, which doesn't mean anything at all, and there's no abstract to tell us more. We see it is from European Respiratory Journal, so the possibility of it being a respiratory disease is there. But remember, PubMed, when it indexes the European Respiratory Journal, it will index every article in it. Every article means there could be a book review on communication skills for medical students. That could be in the European Respiratory Journal. So that may have cause or consequence as a title. We don't know. So that's why we are never sure by seeing something like this. But if we click the title, then usually if there's an abstract, we see an abstract here. In this case, there's none to tell us more. But on the right side of the screen, there's something called mesh terms. That is the description area, which is lower down. So if we click the word mesh terms, we are usually taken further below. I'm just going to paste that area right here. I've done it here. This article is about asthma. It's about a cross-sectional studies. It's about humans. It's about prescriptions. Sometimes the list of terms may be much longer. We'll learn more about these descriptive terms. These terms are added to majority of records in PubMed to describe the entire article, what the whole article is about. You can see that it's not just describing the title and there's no abstract to describe. Somebody has gone through the whole article and added this. We are going to learn more about that. Let me show you another example. I've got 4 titles here which mean nothing. All of them say no abstract. But again, if we click this, we get to know that it is about a particular digestive disease. So that's the kind of that the mesh terms have. Now, how do we ask that our search terms appear in this area? If I want articles about asthma, I type the word asthma and tag it with mesh. And it means I'm telling PubMed search engine, please find the term asthma in the list of mesh terms. Look for it in that area where the mesh terms are listed, which means find asthma here. And if asthma is here, we'll get it in the results. The title may be irrelevant like this or ununderstandable for us, but we know that because it is there after we searched asthma mesh, we know this article is about asthma. Right. Now, such terms in PubMed, just give me a second. These descriptive terms in PubMed, they describe the entire article, as I told you. They are added by specialist indexers who are employed by the National Library of Medicine. The NLM is the creator of PubMed. These indexers are not only specialists in their subjects, but they have been trained in the correct indexing. And for every article, they are given. So a microbiologist who's trained in indexing will be given microbio articles, cardiologist, etc., etc. So they are trained in the subject and trained in indexing. They add these terms with a mix of computerized and their own human indexing methods. The third principle is factual tag search. Other simple tags that we can use. Let's learn other tags. We just learned mesh. We can search for the phrase pharmacological therapy in the title by tagging it with title. We'll learn about it. White as the author, published in the year 2006, published in the journal Drugs, etc. How do we do that? If I search the word drugs with my tag TI, this can be in any case, but in square brackets. PubMed search engine will look for the word drugs in the title. If I put the tag TIAB, it will look in the title as well as in the abstract, both areas. So if you're searching for a rare disease or a rare drug in the title, get very few results. Try TIAB, you get more results. JOUR is when you're looking for articles from the journal Drugs. For this tag, you need to put in the full name of the journal or the correct abbreviation. And you can't search for a word in the title, like it can't be Journal of Drugs and something like that. That will not come with this. When you're searching drugs, JOUR, you're only getting results from the journal title Drugs. White, AU, you're looking for the word white in the author field. So white is the author or one of the authors. AD is author's address or affiliation. Mesh, we just learned earlier. I've just put it as a revision. Here, we are looking for the word drugs in the list of mesh terms. If you don't tag your search term, it will look in all these areas, but remember, it doesn't search the full text of the article because that's not inside PubMed. Search engine of PubMed searches only the contents of PubMed. So if you search drugs without a tag, as I said earlier, in the journal Drugs, there may be a movie review of Munna Bhai MBBS. It still is a relevant answer as far as the computer goes, but irrelevant for us. Numbers, page is the tag for page number. PDAT, that's publication date, or DP, date of publication, is the tag for year. There are lots more tags, but these are the most common ones that we need to learn about. In other databases, instead of the square brackets that we put here, we might have to put it like this, TI:drugs, or the word drugs in bracket :TI. So these will be available in the help files of other databases, but the principle is the same. Your search term and a tag separated by something. In this case, it is separated by open bracket, but also closed with a close bracket. Here, it's the colon, which is the separator. So every database, you have to see how you have to apply this principle and what tags are available. The fourth principle is the results will contain our terms in combinations we specify if we are searching for more than one term. For example, in PubMed, if we put a search like this is a wrong method of combining your search terms prevalence, asthma, bronchitis, India, because these words, which are prepositions and conjunctions, the search engine is programmed to just ignore them. So you do not get the right answer. What you will get is items which have all four words together. Whereas if you're searching this, you might actually want prevalence of asthma and also prevalence of bronchitis in India. So this way, it does not help. Let's learn the correct methods of combining. We combine search terms using and or not in capitals. In the previous example, I had put and in small. That is not counted. Only when you're putting it in capital, it's counted. Each of these, how we use it, we learn it. These terms are called Boolean operators. That's a technical term. Let's learn exactly how to use this. Now, suppose I had searched the word asthma. Let's say I got 100 results. This is just for this exercise. Separately, I searched bronchitis. Let's say I got 70 results. Now, I've put these numbers here. If I type asthma and bronchitis, how many results will I get? Again, can I request people to type in? Take your guesses. Right, wrong, doesn't matter. 170. Anybody else? Less than 70. That's right. So 170 is, we assume that we are looking for articles about asthma and also about bronchitis. That's the human way of thinking. The computer understands asthma and bronchitis as how many contain both terms together. And that's why it is less than 70, because the authors who wrote with the word bronchitis, all of them may not have used asthma. It's very unlikely. Theoretically, 70 might also contain asthma, but less than 70 is highly likely. Let's take a number 45. Okay. Now, asthma or bronchitis. What we are asking the computer is, or we are asking PubMed search engine is, how many contain at least one term or both together? What would be the number for this result? Quickly. How many results would we get? 170. Okay, I'll give a clue. You've got to use the number 100, the number 70, and the number 45. Give me a formula for that. It can't be greater than 170 because the total is only 170. A clue is you use 100, 70, 45. You can just give me the formula. Simply guess. Perfect. 125 is the answer. How that comes is 100 plus 70 minus 45, because the same 45 results are there inside this set and also inside this set, which means those are duplicate results. And we don't want duplicate results. So it is 100 plus 70 minus one set of the 45, we get 125. And the last 100, asthma, not bronchitis. That will be what? 100 minus 100 minus. The question is, how many contain asthma but not bronchitis? Yes, that's 100 minus 45, and that's 55. From this 100, 45 contain bronchitis. We remove that and we get 55. So this thing we've got to be very, very clear with. What very often happens is, even after learning this, people tend to make mistakes because as humans, we think differently. Not about how many contain, we think of how many are about it. So we tend to do it opposite, the and or. Not is fine. Right. So that was all about combining search terms. There's one more thing we need to use in literature searching. That is the use of truncation of wildcards. The symbol star can be used in PubMed like this. Databases like PubMed. If I type asthma and put a star at the end, I will get results where not only the word asthma is there, but any characters that follow asthma, like asthmas, asthmatic, asthmatics, asthmaticus. I'll get all of this. Sometimes we want to get all of them, not leave out anything. It all depends on the context of your search. In PubMed, there's only this one truncation option star, and you can use star only at the end. In some databases, you can put it in the beginning for pre-diabetic. Sorry. If there's a question, please ask. Otherwise, request everybody to mute. Yeah. Right. So you can use star only at the end. In some databases, you can do star diabetic for diabetic or pre-diabetic. Those kinds of options are there. Okay. Truncation, use the symbol at the end of the word for PubMed, and it retrieves characters at the end, as I said. So this is another example. Another common mistake people make is they search bronchial star thinking they need bronchial asthma, bronchial atresia, etc. This is a separate word. All these are separate words. If you just search bronchial, automatically whatever words come after that will come. You don't need a star for that. Star is only for letters at the end, like here. Okay? So that confusion should go. Right. There's a new operator in PubMed. It's just about a year old, called the proximity operator, which helps us search words near each other. I'll give you examples here. If I search healthcare management, TI colon tilde 3. This means we are telling the search engine, I want both words in the title with maximum 3 words separating the two. And here what happens, the words can be in any order. That's what you're saying. Another example, healthcare risk management, TIAB colon tilde 3. All 3 words in the title or in the abstract with maximum 3 words separating them. So for word, search terms like these, the way authors write them, it could be management of rural healthcare, things like that. So we don't want to miss it. You might think we can search healthcare and management. In the title, it's fine, but if you search it in the abstract, healthcare could be the first word of the abstract, management somewhere right at the end, and management of something else. It's not about healthcare management. The nearer they are, the better. The third, so you can use this proximity in TI title, TIAB, and AD, that is address, only in these 3 fields. So here I'll show you result examples. AD colon tilde 3 means the 2 words in the address area, maximum 3 separating. Here there's 1 word separating. Here there's 1 word separating. Here there are 3 words separating. And here cancer come first, center. Here center first, cancer. All these. You can even use 0. Cancer center AD colon tilde 0, which means it could be center cancer, which is unlikely. But again, let's take it for healthcare management. Management, healthcare something, you can have it tilde 0. That is, both are next to each other. So you can use proximity for TI, TIAB, AD, and you can try any number from 0 onwards. The recommendation is maximum 5. This number maximum should be 5, otherwise it gets irrelevant. How many should you put? It comes with experimentation. By practice, you start getting an idea about how many numbers would be the best. The format is important. If I'm using 2 words, both should be inside quotes and in square brackets, the field colon tilde number of things. So this is very, very important. Right. Let's take an example of a topic search. I want to quickly read up something on use of biomarkers in pneumonia as well as in bronchitis. We're going to do this based on all that we have learned. Now, a topic search needs some deliberation and planning. First, think of your results. Every result item must contain biomarkers for sure, either pneumonia or bronchitis or both together. So our search, some of our results will be like this: biomarkers with pneumonia, some will be biomarkers with bronchitis. Some will contain all three terms. Now, we know that the terms to search are biomarkers, pneumonia, bronchitis. Let's first add Boolean operators. And or not. What Boolean operators would we add? Can people tell me? We type biomarkers and then it'll be quickly. Try it out. Biomarkers. For pneumonia, will we do and or not? No answers coming. It'll be biomarkers and pneumonia or bronchitis, because we want biomarkers for pneumonia as well as bronchitis, so or bronchitis. But if we type this way, we have a problem, because first the search engine pulls out every record that has the word biomarkers and pneumonia. Then it reads the or bronchitis. It will pull out every item that has bronchitis, combine all these items together and give us the results. So how can we change the order? Change the order of the search terms and the operators. Which word should come first? You can even put the first letter of the word. Or you can unmute and speak. Or first and then and. So I think that's good enough. So our search would be pneumonia or bronchitis and biomarkers. So now it will find every item that has either of these or both together. Once it finds all of them, it understands inside the set wherever biomarkers is, pull out only those and present the results in the results page. So this is how the search engine in PubMed works. Now that we've got the terms, the purpose of our search was we want to quickly read some articles. We are not doing a thorough search. We want to scan some articles. So what is the best tag to use? We have learned several tags. Which tag will give us results that as soon as we see, we know whether they are relevant or not for all the three terms? Which tag would we use? We learnt mesh, TI, TIAB, JOUR, AU, so many tags. Which tag do we need so that when we see the results, we know that they are either relevant or not relevant? Where do we want to see the words? Pneumonia, bronchitis, biomarkers, where do we want to see them? Is anybody there? I'm not getting any results. As I said, you can give me wrong answers, no problem, but have some interactivity. Okay, TIAB was a choice. If we do plain keywords, then they may not even be there in the title or abstract. So the tag is what I asked for. The best tag for quickly getting some is TI. What happens when we do a search like this? Either pneumonia or bronchitis is definitely in the title. Maybe both are in the title, and biomarkers is also in the title. So if it says except biomarkers or excluding biomarkers, we straight away know we don't want it. But from the results, we quickly will pick up 5 or 10 articles that we want to read. This is, yes, mesh is a choice, of course, but mesh means we'll get titles like cause or consequence. Yes, we know it is about it, but we want very indicative titles that tell us whether we want to read it or not, because our purpose is we want to just read a handful of articles. If we get too few, we can try TIAB because we at least look at the abstract. If we decide we want to do research on this, then we add the mesh tag. We know that every result item is about it, irrespective of titles like cause or consequence, first 6 months, some kinds of titles like that. Right. Now we know these 4 principles of searching. Let's learn a little more about mesh. What we kept talking about mesh. The full form of mesh is medical subject headings. There's a collection of standard terms. And as I said earlier, professional indexers from the NLM, when they do the tagging or putting in those words for every item, they choose the terms from this collection of standard terms. And with that, they tag or describe article records. Now, where are these when we want to search with mesh? First, we need to make sure that the terms are in the mesh thesaurus of standard terms. How do we do that? We go to PubMed. Here is the mesh database. We need to always go there first to make sure that our term is a mesh term. We go here. I've taken an example of spectacles. I put in the word spectacles and search, and the mesh term is eyeglasses. So here, eyeglasses has come in. There's a short description, a pair of ophthalmic lenses, etc. The purpose is to aid or improve vision. It does not include goggles or non-prescription sunglasses, for which the mesh term is eye protective devices. So we need to know which term is what we want to search more about. This is the way we come to the mesh database and choose the best mesh term. Now, let's take our topic, biomarkers for pneumonia as well as bronchitis. Do the search right from the mesh database. For this, we need to have that order correctly. That's why we found it to be pneumonia or bronchitis and biomarkers. So in that order, we search. First, we search pneumonia, click search. Here, we get a selection option for pneumonia and more specific pneumonias. I chose the word pneumonia. On the right side, there's a PubMed search builder. There's an option, add the selection to the search builder. When I click this, it puts in pneumonia mesh. Next, my term is bronchitis. So I will erase pneumonia and type bronchitis here. Click search. Again, I get a listing. I select bronchitis. My search was pneumonia or bronchitis and biomarkers. So here I will change that and to or, add to search builder. It puts in pneumonia mesh or bronchitis mesh. Now I click search I then remove biomarkers, remove bronchitis and put biomarkers, add. I select biomarkers, add to search builder with and. I don't have to change the operator. Now my full term is here. Pneumonia mesh or bronchitis mesh and biomarkers mesh. Search PubMed and I get 4,000 odd results. If I had done the search like this, I got only 144. We miss a whole lot of things. Sometimes it's the reverse. You get more relevant there and you get huge numbers here, which lot will be irrelevant. But here we've got insufficient numbers. This is because it is ignored the for and wherever all three are together, it's given us only that. If we want aspects of a term, for example, if I want epidemiology of laryngitis, I find the mesh term, click, choose the correct subheading. So I searched laryngitis and got it here. I select epidemiology, click add to search builder. It puts in laryngitis epidemiology mesh, then search PubMed. I've got this with 291 results. If I had searched it as epidemiology of laryngitis, I got 12,000 odd. As I said, sometimes you get lots more. So it's important to go through mesh and search it for maximum relevance. In the mesh database, you can search only one term at a time. You noticed I did pneumonia first, then bronchitis, then biomarkers, not all together. You find a term, add it to the builder, look for the next term, all that. So that's how, in brief, you run a search from the mesh database. There is lots more to learn about mesh and TIAB, but I've given you the most important bits. Last and very useful, important in PubMed, there's a feature for verifying incomplete or incorrect references. Let's say you went for a conference or a lecture and the speaker showed this graph and gave what is an incomplete reference. I'm just putting it here. In PubMed, of course, only if the journal is in PubMed, this article is in PubMed, you'd find it. But there's a huge number in PubMed, so we'll check it out. On the home page, there is something called the single citation matcher. When you click that, you get a screen like this. This is our incomplete reference. We put Kumar V in author name, forecasting malaria title words, 2014 in the date. We click search. It translates the query the way we learned to form queries. 2014 PDAT and Kumar V author and forecasting malaria, and gets you one single result. Because logically, this author on this topic with these words in 2014, it's most likely there's one article, maximum there could be 2, 3, 4, not hundreds. Okay? So once you do this, you see the free full text is in the journal as well as in PubMed Central. You read it and you want to use this in your publication, this reference. All you do is to click cite, a pop-up comes, you can just copy, paste it and edit it as per need. Or those who are more experienced, you can change the format, you can download RIS. All these options are also there. So overall, just these very basic ABC techniques that I taught, they themselves can save you hours. But there's a lot more to learn. And the more you learn, you'll really save more and more hours. We have e-learning courses where they are self-paced. You can learn at your own pace. The site is qmedcourses.in, and these are the available courses. I'll just put them in a better format. This course and this one, they are free. You can register today and do them. These two are very basic. What I taught today, plus a little more. And this is about referencing. What you should reference, what you should not reference. Where could you learn how to reference a book, a website, a report, etc. All that kind of thing. From here onwards, it's on a basic payment. I'll talk about it. This course is about mastering PubMed. There's a lot more detail about PubMed. This is on reference management with the Mendeley software. This is with the Zotero software. And this one is advanced PubMed searching for authoring systematic reviews, which means how do you do very advanced searches in order not to miss any item in your search. Just a second. Where is it available? I'll just show you again. 1 second. So, okay, I'll just go back to that slide. The site is qmedcourses.in, QMED courses. I put it in the chat. How do you register? you need to give a donation. As an individual, you give a donation of rupees 800 to our foundation. You get access to all courses for 3 months. Or if you want it for a year, we ask for a donation of 2,500. For undergraduates, we ask only for 500. And then the institutions, if you can recommend it to your institution, then we ask for an annual subscription and anybody in the institution can join. I'll just show you how to get more details. The full information is on our website here. I'll just put that also. Just give me a second. If you go to our website, on the home page, you'll see this link to online courses. If you click there, you'll get a page with a lot of information, and on the side, you'll get all these links. So here you have access for institutions, which will give you what charges are there for an institution. For individuals, it will be this, and UG students is separate. So all these examples are here. So about the courses, as I said, they're self-paced learning in 3 months or 1 year. You can do the courses at your own pace. There are short videos. Average length of a video is 5 minutes. Some are just 2 minutes. Some are about 10 minutes, etc. So you can just do 2-3 videos in a day and so on. The final assessment that you do, you can do unlimited attempts so that you improve your scores. And the questions are shuffled. So today you do for the PubMed course 25 questions. If you attempt it again, some of them will be same, some of them will be different so that you get better practice. And your highest score certificate remains on the site. You can download that many certificates and store only the highest score certificates. You also get badges for skills. You've learned mesh thoroughly, you get a badge. So these kinds of things. There's several ways to encourage students also to learn more. So this is the email ID in which you can write for more information. And here I have a small feedback and post test. I'll put it in the link so that I request everybody to fill this in. Just give me a second. Yeah. You could click that and fill the feedback and the small post test. It'll be nice. So with that, I'm done. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer that. Questions could be on what I spoke about or anything else related to searching, referencing. I'll be happy to answer that.
From our participants, if you have any questions, please ask.
Ma'am, suppose if somebody is publishing in non-index journals, so is there any benefit, ma'am? Because there are many predatory journals and those things are also in practice. People are doing charging money. But yeah, I know that, journals they are charging. If big journals, they're also charging some, they are charging some fees is there, APC are there, article processing charges. So can you please enlighten ma'am on this?
So, yeah, sure. Most importantly, you need to differentiate between predatory and other charging journals. To pay, but the author's institution. And in India, we need to get this culture where an institution is ready to pay the charges for this. It's taking some time. We are all going through these changes. But definitely we need to make sure the journal is not predatory, which some things are obvious. If they tell you that they'll publish very soon, etc., that's not likely. Make sure about peer review, ask in groups whether anybody knows, etc. Whereas journals like PLOS Medicine, PLOS, so many journals, they are all open access journals where they charge that fee They expect the institution to pay it. So yes, choose your journal carefully. Indexed and non-indexed is all about indexed where, because it may not be in PubMed, but it may be in Embase or something. So where it is indexed is pretty important. But that's again something where there's lots to learn about. So it's something where you need to know more about each of those databases. You know, some of them will say indexed in Google Scholar, which is a wrong term. Google Scholar, there's nothing about indexing. Google Scholar is a special search engine which picks up academic journals and gives them in your search results. There's no indexing like in PubMed. Whereas the most well-known databases are PubMed, Embase, the paid versions of Medline. Embase is also paid. Then all those Science Direct and Scopus, Web of Science, all those. Those are all, if your journal features in any of them, you can safely send your article to those journals. So it takes a bit of R&D and it's an evolving subject that way.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Are we done then? Anybody else? Very quickly, any question? Right. I think we are done with that. So thank you very much for your listening. And I don't know, in the audience, I was told it's a mix of medical and non-medical microbiologists. But I'd like to say that we as a foundation, our aim is to reach every corner of India with our courses. We've had excellent feedback and great learning. We do detailed workshops as well. And we seek support to see that every institution ideally takes it, makes everybody learn. Because we guarantee that with this, the literature searching quality will be much higher. And that is a very important component of your research. If anybody is in the industry, then if you can get your industry to support us by giving us a grant or something to do workshops in different institutions, that would be extremely helpful. So do get in touch with me if you can support us in any way to spread the knowledge about our courses. That's my appeal. Can we do research at undergraduate level? Yes. Okay. High-tech lab equipment, without that, yes, is what I have heard. I'm not an expert to answer that. But in the field of microbiology, I'm not really too sure. There should be other experts who can answer that. But in medicine, generally, a lot of undergraduates are doing research now without any such high-tech thing. The broad answer is yes. Right. Can we close the session then?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you. And it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's webinar. On behalf of Microbiology Society India, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our speakers, Ms. Vasumati Sri Ganesh ma'am, for sharing her deep insights and expertise on structured literature searching for relevant literature. Your session was truly inspiring and left us with valuable takeaways that will help us think more deeply about these important subjects. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. A.M. Deshmukh sir, All Indian President of the Microbiologist Society India, for his constant guidance, support, and encouragement in making this event possible. Sir, your vision and leadership have always been a source of inspiration for all of us. I would further like to thank all our participants. A special thanks to our organizing team. Lastly, we are grateful to all those who join us today, making this session a success. We look forward to your continued participation in our future events. Thank you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am.